Do you need help in your business, but you are struggling to let go? Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, it's Rosemary Lewis, your real estate bestie, and today we are going to answer the question about letting go and receiving help. But before we get into it, this is what I need you to do. Bestie, speaking of letting go and just letting people in and having help, did you know that we have a whole Facebook page for our real estate besties? Head on over to rosemarylewis.com/Facebook. And let me tell you, in that group, we are sharing real life real estate issues. We are asking and answering questions, just like the question that I am going to answer today. And you know what? You might mess around and find a real life real estate bestie. So go to rosemarylewis.com/Facebook so that you can connect with the besties there. So let's get into our question. This question actually came up at our recent real estate bestie retreat. Now, part of the retreat was we had a private mastermind for about 12 ladies, and we just got to literally sit around a table and have some honest heart-to-heart conversation. And one thing that came up over and over is that, you know what, business is actually good for a lot of our besties out here. Like, don't believe the hype, what media says. Like, there are realtors out here literally breaking records and going and getting after it, which means you can get after it too. But one thing that started to come up is that I'm grateful and things are going good with business, but listen, this business is running me. I know that I need help, but I am a little hesitant to let go and actually receive some of that help. And like, what would you do, Rosemary? So first of all, friend, I see you, okay? I know what it feels like to, first of all, pray that God blesses you with a business where you are in a position where you are supporting your clients, buyers and sellers. And when you get to that place where it's clicking and you have an abundance of business, it is such a wonderful feeling. But with every blessings, right, there comes a lesson. And one thing that often happens is that things that you were able to manage, especially when you did not have the quite the amount of business. And honestly, even if you're working one transaction, sometimes you will find that, you know what, I am struggling keeping my head above water and staying afloat with everything that I need to be doing. And I have found myself in that same scenario. But let's be real, right? Because I know most of my besties are women, and just the way that we're wired is that sometimes it's really hard to hire help. It's hard to ask for help. We feel like we can just do it all by ourselves. And you know what? You probably could do it all by yourself. Like, you're probably capable of doing it all. But should you be doing it all is the question. Because what happens is when we don't apply leverage in our business and in our lives, then you are going to be in danger of burning out. And take it from someone who has reached burnout, right? Who has literally got to the point where I definitely needed help. The help was available to me, but I didn't accept it in my life. Not only did I reach burnout, but honestly, my clients suffered because I was not at the highest I wasn't using the highest and best use of my gifts, okay? So the very thing that I'm going to say, if this is you, is that, you know what? It's okay to let go a little bit. Now, I'm not saying let go to the point where like you are just not in tune with what's happening in your business, but literally maybe sit down, and here's a great activity. Sit down and write down all of the different things that you do in a transaction. And not even just in a transaction, like, what do you do throughout the day? Are you making breakfast? Are you going to the gym? What are you doing for are you opening the doors? Are you inputting all of the administrative tasks? Then are you coming home and cooking and cleaning? Like, literally jot down everything that you are doing. And then I want you to circle, okay, what are the things that you personally have to do? And what are the things that someone else can do? So I'll give you a great example in my life, right? If I right now, I can't get somebody to work out for me. I cannot get anyone to do this podcast, right? I am the real estate bestie. So I'm the one who needs to be on camera. But when it comes to my business, can someone else actually open the door to let a client in, but I'm still very much involved in the transaction? Absolutely. Can I hire a transaction coordinator to make sure that she is keeping up with all of the different dates related to the client files so that I can communicate that to the client, but she's doing a little bit of the heavy lifting, the administrative things that are not my gifting? Absolutely. Can I set a little bit of money aside every month to have a cleaning lady come into the house so that my space is neat and tidy, but I'm not the one who actually has to do it? Yep, I can certainly do that too. Now, I know some of you are cringing like, oh, I don't want to let go. But let me tell you what happens when you actually start to invite and invest in the right people to help you is that you are now free to spend your time doing two things. Number one, your highest dollar producing activity. Okay. My highest dollar producing activities, unfortunately, are not cleaning the floors in my house and, a lot of other tedious tasks like inputting stuff into SkySlope, into our transaction management. That's not the highest dollar activity for me. What is a high dollar activity is actually being on the phones, meeting clients, serving my sphere, showing up for my people, building those relationships that eventually lead to me serving them and additional transactions. That is the best use of my time. But if I'm so bogged down with paperwork or with household chores or whatever those things are that I can't show up for them, then I am not rising to the occasion. And it's quite possibly that you aren't doing it either. So, you might be saying, yeah, but they don't do it like me, right? They don't do it exactly the way that I would do it. And I'm about to say something that is going to hurt the ears of my type A personalities, right? But B+ work is better than you being burnout. I'm going to say that again. If someone is able to do it at a B+ level, like I don't want them to absolutely suck, right? And it actually harm your business and your life. But if they can show up at a B+ effort and then you work to get them up to exactly where you need them to be, trust me, in the long run, it is going to help you. Because at the end of the day, friend, let me tell you something. Time is a non-renewable resource. And if you are starting to feel stressed and overwhelmed and, you got pressure at home, you got pressure at work, and it's just not fun anymore, that means that we need a who. Who can help you build the business, sustain your goals? Who can you bring on? Who can you hire so that you can leverage your time? There is no way in the world that I will be able to do the things that I get to do if I did not have people coming around me and helping me. Like literally right before I started this video, I was talking to one of my teammates who is so great with administrative tasks. I was like, okay, you're going to start doing X, Y, and Z on our team because I know that it needs to happen. And yes, could I do it? Could I sit in front of a computer? Could I figure out some of these things? I probably could, but it's not the best use of my time. It's better to bring somebody on who is going to be able to help us. So I really want you to think about it, besties. What are the things in your business and in your life that it's okay. Like it's okay to raise your hand and ask for help. It's okay to have those kids, load the dishwasher. It's okay to ask your husband or your significant other to pick up groceries, right? It's okay to even leverage, like you can leverage a grocery delivery service or groceries being delivered into your car to save you time. There are so many different ways that you can start to leverage and not try to do it all. But we are going to start with, okay, I want you to start with writing down everything that you do in the day and literally pick one thing. What is one thing that I can offload, right? And now we can begin to structure our days so that we are doing the highest dollar producing and what's going to give you the biggest return on your time investment. Those are the activities that you want to focus on. Now, if you are like me, like I am sometimes I'm like, I don't even know what I should be focusing on in a day. Don't worry about it. I am going to give you a sneak peek of what it looks like of a day in the life of a successful real estate agent. You're going to head on over to rosemarylewis.com/day, or you can click in the description box exactly where you are listening to this podcast or watching this video. And you're going to be able to download literally what a day in the life looks like and brainstorm what you want your days to look like. And by doing this ahead of time, you won't get caught up in all of these little menial tasks that are not moving the needle forward. What they're actually doing is burning you out, and eventually it's going to make you exit the business, because who wants to continue to be in a business that is draining them? So I'm going to encourage you to just, start with one thing that you can let go. And as you start to truly let it go, right, put it in the hands of someone who is capable of doing the thing, then you can start adding things to your repertoire, and you will actually begin to enjoy this business again. Okay? Okay. Now, if you made it to the end of this podcast and you are not subscribed, make sure you click that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, or just follow us where you listen to the podcast. And then that way we get to stay connected. I hope that this was helpful, besties, and I will talk to you next week.